Okay, so today, yeah, like I said, very simple class because we're going to go through crystals, the basics of it, because I mean, you can get into crystal grids and all that stuff. I personally don't do crystal grids. One, because they're time consuming and they're ritualistic, and I am selective with the amount of time that I have that I can allocate things to. So I don't do grids, so I won't show grids. But what I do with crystals is that I use them. And the funny thing is that I never cared for crystals. Even when I used to study energy work and all that stuff, crystals just never did anything for me. And then, I think about like maybe, I don't even know, but like, what are we in 2022? I think it was around 2011 or 2010. I started getting some crystals and then I just exploded with crystals from like everything. So I've got myself quite a little collection. I'll show you a little bit of the ones that I have, but I've laid out some of them over here to kind of like show you. But I use my crystals for many different purposes. I obviously do crystal healings, crystal sessions, so I use them a lot in there. There's a few I keep in my treatment room when I'm doing with clients. I feel called to certain crystals to help amplify the energy. So they're very controversial because some people say, yeah, they mean something. Some people say, no, they don't. And it's really a belief system like everything. Just like somebody could say oracle cards don't do anything, but you believe that they do, and they've shown you that they do. So like my teacher had said, everything is BS. Everything is belief system. Crystals are now being studied on a whole different level. And there's a lot of studies that have been put out about their frequency and their vibration that they carry when there's certain crystals around. I know for me, I had an experience where there was a period where I was having headaches constantly and I didn't know why. And it was really weird. And it had been a couple of days, but it was a very small lingering headache. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I had citrine, which is like a very mild yellow color, and it's very good for building confidence. I was wearing it as a necklace, but I hadn't pinpointed it at the time until a few days later. We were going shopping and then I put it on. I didn't have the headache. I put it on and then we're driving to the store and I started to feel the pressure in my head again. And I'm like, oh, that's so weird. It's coming back. It wasn't there for a while. Came back home and I changed my clothes. I took it off and instantly I felt like a lift of heaviness off of me. And I realized it was the citrine. And from that day, I was like, oh, maybe there is something to these crystals because someone had given it to me. Anyways, that was my story where I was like, I started getting into crystals and I was like, oh, there's something here. Okay, so where to start with crystals? I know you each have some of your own crystals, and anybody have any reasoning specifically why they picked those crystals, or you just went in and you kind of just like, oh, I like this one, or I heard about this one kind of thing? Anybody have any short stories about their crystals? No.
Okay. I picked this one. I mean, there's ones that are smooth, but I like the jagged ones. Yeah. I like to feel it.
Yeah.
I just like to feel like some people have like worry stones and they're very smooth.
Yeah.
But this for me is opposite. I need to feel jagged, rough, like raw, like and not decorated,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So exactly what, Fondi, yes, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I just want to mention, my mom loves jade. Okay. So it's like, culturally, jade is like good luck, protection, and prosperity. My mom has stories about people when they're in a moment of crisis, the jade will snap in half, like it'll break when it's doing something for you. When you're in need, it'll actually break to do the protection or whatever. So my mom had a story of someone who fell from a balcony or something, and wasn't injured, but the jade broke.
Wow.
So it was so she said, it protects you and everything. But I have a jade that actually made me sick. A pendant that I was given, and every time I put it on, I would feel dizzy. Like I would feel kind of discombobulated. And it's not every jade, so maybe that piece of citrine may not be good for you.
Yeah,
for some reason it may have, I don't know, holding on to something, some wherever it has passed through, like hands has passed through. But I've had other pieces that are fine, I'm fine with, but that one pendant makes me sick every time.
Have you cleansed it?
No, I just don't touch it. I just put it away. I'm like, you don't make me feel good. You're gonna be in a box in a dark place.
Yeah. At some point you should cleanse it. Or even you have selenite, I think you had mentioned. If you just leave it next to selenite on a full moon day, you don't have to touch it. Just put selenite next to it, put it outside on the full moon day, or on a window or something, and just leave it. Because selenite has a natural way of cleansing other crystals too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll get into it. Okay, so wonderful. Yes, so they are very, very powerful when used for certain purposes. Even on their own, like Fondi just mentioned, there are certain crystals that carry energy because they go through so much. They've been around for so long. They're part of the earth. They accumulated a lot of energy. And to get to the store that you bought them from, they go through a lot of hands, and they're like magnets. So they grab energy of wherever they are. So every time, just like your oracle cards, one, they have to be treated with respect, and two, important that they need to be cleansed. Now, cleansing them regularly is entirely up to you. It's the kind of thing where some people like to cleanse them ritually, like they'll have a crystal day where they just spend their day, saging, cleansing their crystals, and then charging them. You can put them outside. Sunlight charges them, moonlight charges them. So full moons are a great day to just like lay them out and just leave them there so that they get charged. But it's really up to you. I don't do a lot of ritualistic stuff like that because for me, it's a lot of intention, but I do have a lot of selenite. So a lot of my crystals, I keep them next to selenite. Selenite and clear quartz are really good for natural cleansing. So it will just naturally cleanse the energy of the crystals around it. So even my ones in the treatment room, I always keep them next to the selenite because after I'm done, I kind of just kind of clean them up and leave them there, and they clean by itself. That's a little note for cleaning them. But back to the basics for crystals. So you go into the store, you see tons of crystals. There's big ones, there's small ones. Obviously, yes, the bigger they are, the more energy they can exude, or they can, hold on to, because obviously the bigger, the better. Not necessarily bigger, the better. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Bigger, more energy, but not necessarily better, because the small ones could be just as effective. Deborah mentioned that she likes the rough ones. So you'll always find two types of crystals. You'll find rough-edged ones that look just plain rocks. They're rough. They haven't been touched. They're very, very basic. It's like they kind of just pluck them off and put them on the shelves. Or you'll get the ones that are smooth and shaped. They look like they've been polished, and they're very, very smooth. So these ones are tumbled, and you've got raw. So there's two types of crystals, raw and tumbled. Raw, literally picked off of the earth, and tumbled, processed. So processed doesn't mean bad. It just means it's gone through, there's a whole 28-day process it goes through with heating and shaping and polishing and shaving and shaping and heating. And it goes through 3 or 4 cycles of the same repeat cycle to get it soft and shiny like this. It's really a preference thing. It depends on the person and what they like. It doesn't make one stronger than the other, but putting it through the process of being tumbled makes it a bit more durable. It doesn't necessarily make it less weaker, but it makes it more durable in terms of they don't break easily. So these ones, you can kind of keep them together and you can kind of keep them in a jar. They won't really break much. Whereas these ones, if you drop them because they're a bit more raw and natural, they'll kind of easily break a bit more. So tumbled. Also, another thing with tumbled, because you also have water soluble ones, which are not tumbled, but when you go to the beach and then you sometimes there's rocks that you pick up and they kind of feel like the tumbled. They're soft and they're smooth. That's being washed by the salt water so much that it's turned into what looks like a tumbled. So sometimes it's nice to know the difference between a tumbled one and a water soluble one, because those ones are a bit more, they're milder. So if I have a client that wants to go into getting crystals, but they have very sensitive energy, I would recommend trying to find a water soluble one or a tumbled one, because the energy won't be as potent initially for them. It could be very gentle so that they can kind of start to invoke the energy that they want with it, as opposed to going for a rough one, which already comes with a very strong energy. This could be just as strong, but it starts off milder because it's been processed. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that one is better than the other, but just the length and the process and the type of person that's looking for a crystal. If you're a little bit more sensitive and need a smaller, little more energy surge so that you could build your energy, I would go for smaller tumbled rather than the rough. So you go to a store, you pick a crystal. Usually what you do is you pick the ones that you're drawn to. That's what everyone does. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for you, because you can take it home, you can kind of see how it feels, and you try it out that way, because like I said, they carry very strong energy. So it's important for you to cleanse them so that you kind of start fresh with your energy, invoke them. How do you cleanse them and invoke them? The same way you do your oracle cards, excuse me. The same way. I take my crystal in my hand. I take my sage 3 times counterclockwise to clear any negative energy, 3 times clockwise to invoke positive energy. Depending on the crystal that you get, then there's verbiage that goes with it, because if it could be for a specific purpose. So like if you pick amethyst, this is very connected with intuition and protection. So you could be asking for this crystal to guide you in your intuition, to help boost your meditation practice, to protect you, to keep out negative energies. So like depending on what you pick them for, if you pick something like jade or malachite, this is heart energy. You would invoke heart energy healing intentions when you do the invoking for the crystal. Biggest rule of thumb. Okay, Wendy, there's so many crystals out there. How do I know what does what for what? If at the beginning of the course, you kind of followed it through, or want to later, when I had explained that understanding colors and the chakras will guide you through everything else that you want to learn, it also applies to crystals. The colors of the crystals attribute to the colors of the chakra that attribute to the emotions and the organs of the body of each chakra. So colors, so for example, you got black crystals, black turmeric. You've got dark red, red jasper. These dark colors are root chakra. What is that? It's grounding, it's security, it's protection. So every crystal that is red, that even has something like black, red, earthy colors in it, I know that I'm working with grounding. I don't necessarily want to use this kind of crystal if I'm trying to connect with spirit. I'm using this kind of crystal if I want to ground and root into Gaia. If I want to stay connected to the physical realm, to my physical body, to anything that has to do with my organs on the lower body. If my sacral, like Deborah, this would be a really good one for your current issues. Red, jasper, black, tourmaline, onyx, dark colors, because that's root chakra. The next one up is orange crystals. Orange crystals, you'll have carnelian, you'll have even calcite, but you'll have, it's funny because I don't have a lot of them, but you'll have things like, oh, why is this not coming out? Sorry, 1 second, guys.
Tiger's eye, maybe?
Yeah, tiger's eye is another good one. Tiger's eye is very good for root chakra and sacral. Tiger's eye, which I was going to get to in a moment, but tiger's eye for me is my go-to for everything. Like it's the one that I wear on my bracelet, but it's my simplest go-to for everything. Even soft enough for my children because they all have tiger's eye. They all have their own tiger's eye bracelet. They have tiger's eye in their room, but very, very safe. Tiger's eye, one of my favorites. But yeah, so solar, anything that's orange. So if you see orange ones, you can, find out the name of them, but that this is going to govern everything that has to do with sacral energy, how I'm feeling. If you're a woman, your reproductive organs, your sense of how you produce yourself in this world. So everything sacral is the orange crystals. Everything yellow is everything solar, that is everything fire, that is everything that is confidence, that is your stomach, that is even acidity. So carrying yellow crystals might increase acidity in the body, because what you're doing is these colors are giving energy to that center of the body. So you kind of have to know where you're sitting, what kind of energy you want to invoke, and what kind of energy you kind of have to stay away from, because crystals are great, but it's not a free-for-all. It's not this kind of, let me just get all the crystals I want and keep them all that I want, because they're energy. So they will balance out. And if you have too much, it'll cost too much energy in one area and not enough in another area. So it's kind of important to understand what crystals you have, why you have them, and what you want to use them for. Because energy goes where attention flows. So when you put your energy into a crystal, it will be that much more powerful for you to be able to use it effectively. So moving up, same thing, anything that you see in green and pink, which is the heart chakra color, rose quartz, jade, malachite, these are green and pink crystals. These govern the heart chakra. I have a lot of rose quartz. I have this rose quartz that I use a lot in my treatment room. I will place it right on the heart center of clients when we're doing treatments. It amplifies the energy. Heating up your crystal amplifies the energy. So sometimes holding them in your palm, warming them up, and then placing them on different parts of your body based on the energy that you want to invoke helps bring healing to that chakra and that energy. So anything pink, anything green, doesn't really matter the shape. You got all kinds of different shapes. You've got your rocks. I have ones that are shaped into like little angels. I've got raw ones. So again, it really doesn't matter the shape. It really matters your intention behind it. Moving up to the throat, anything light blue. Anything light blue, not dark blue, because dark blue is a third eye, but light blue is throat chakra. So you'll find kyanite. Kyanite is a really good one. Kyanite is my favorite one. Even solidite has like lighter blues, but the kyanite is a like this. It's a very light blue on a lot of different shapes. I have them like this. I've got different sizes, but I kind of like this. But even for the throat chakra, if you feel like you're not expressing yourself properly, or you want to be able to express yourself a little bit more, you get some kyanite and then you kind of lie down and you place it on your throat chakra. You can place them anywhere, like on the clavicle, around this area, to kind of bring energy to this area. And then you just breathe. You just breathe, invoke the energy of the crystals. Third eye, same thing. Anything that's of navy blue. My favorite for the third eye is solidite. I've got solidite. And I've got lapis lazuli. This one also is one of my favorites. Very, very powerful. I know that my solidite, if I place it on my third eye, if I'm lying like in Shavasana, or I'm just lying down and I'm resting, I'll feel the pressure of it. It just brings energy to the intuitive area, kind of helps strengthen your connection a little bit. One thing to notice, and last thing is purple. Anything purple or white is the crown chakra at the top. So you've got like clear quartz, or you've got amethyst. These are very, very powerful. That's why everyone gravitates towards amethyst, because it is probably one of the most powerful, protective, connected, grounding, all around crystal that will do everything, because it's connected to the crown chakra, which is the ultimate highest truth. Your connection to divine, where your soul enters and leaves your body, is through the top of your head. It's said in a lot of different traditions. One thing to note about crystals that are like this, that are pointed, that have a point to them, the shape of your crystals matter. They do matter because everything is sacred geometry. There's a reason to everything. So you'll find like, the Merkabahs, or you'll find like pyramids and spheres and circles and squares and hexagons and all kinds of shapes. But it's not a sacred geometry class, so that's a whole other subject. But I want to point out the pointed ones because we see a lot of these, we get a lot of these. It's important to note that for the pointed ones, wherever it's pointing is where the energy will go. So when I use them in my treatments, if I am trying to ground the client and I'm keeping them connected, I will make sure that it's pointing downwards because we are grounding back into the earth. If this person needs to lighten up a little bit and they need to connect with the higher divine, I will have them hold it upright because it will bring the energy up and connect upwards. So it's important to know what direction, if you're using pointed ones, you kind of don't want to like, you know, throw them around or whatever, because these ones are very powerful because they have a point. So it's sharp. It gives a sharp energy. What I do with my clients, this one I keep it for my meditation because I'm trying to keep my energy upwards. But like if I have a client or I'm trying to ground myself, I have like 2 pointed ones. If I want to ground myself, I'll hold them downwards in my wrist. And then I'll hold them like on, you can't see down here, but I'll hold them on my lap facing downwards and do my meditation because I want to keep grounded. So that's really important to note about your grounding. Again, it's very much like your oracle cards. You want to keep respect, treat them with respect. Don't throw them around, throw them in your purse, whatever. Keep them in a nice, clean, sacred space is always best because it amplifies that energy, keeps that energy. And then if you want to take them with you, you take them with you. So like my bracelets, I wear them all the time and they go through everything with me. And I have one in each color for each chakra, depending which one I want to invoke for that day. But I keep them on the ledge of my bathroom, which is on the window. And I know that the moon, whenever there's a full moon, it comes up on that side of my house. So it gets naturally charged. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to put it there. They just stay there. So a sacred place could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be at your altar, but it has to be a place somewhere that there's light, natural light, sunlight, moonlight, and it's clean and no one really kind of bothers it. You don't throw stuff on it and all that. So that's what I mean by a sacred space for your crystal. I have other ones that I keep at my altar itself. And even then, if I feel like I need a certain energy, I'll take that and I'll take it with me for the day, kind of like a friend. And then I put it back at the end of the day. What else did I want to say about it? Yeah, so for the cleansing, selenite, even clear quartz is a natural cleanser. Clear quartz is a natural cleanser, so you can kind of just put them next to your crystals if you really want to have it clean. Kyanite is good too. Kyanite's good for cleansing, but I personally like selenite because I have found that works the most. Because for me, I have attributed my intention and my meaning to them. So kyanite I use for throat chakra, for communication, for verbalization, anything thyroid related, I use kyanite. So I designated selenite as my cleanser. So even when I'm working with a client and I'm cleansing their aura, I use selenite kind of like a wand, kind of just go through them and kind of flick the energy off. Cleansing. One thing to note about cleansing, sometimes you'll hear people putting their crystals in salt water because that helps cleanse them. Salt, very, 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 very powerful. Even for us traditionally, going back in the day, salt in a bowl of water in a room is really important because it catches negative energy. So if you cleanse your crystals in salt water, it clears negative energy, just like if you take a salt bath. I don't do that because salt also physically is harsh and it could like ruin the quality of your crystals depending what they are. So like the tumbled ones, you don't really want to clean them in salt water because it's kind of make it a bit rough and edgy. You could do it with the rough ones, but it's up to you. It's really up to you. If that's something that you feel like you want to do is duck them into salt water and clean them out, that's great. The salt water, you throw it outside when you're done or flush it down a toilet. I personally don't because I keep it near selenite or I sage them. So multiple options, again, what calls to you. Any questions?
No, not from me.
Oh, good. Have it pointing up. Yeah, so most of you have crystals, so choosing them isn't really a question. You kind of choose the one that's called to you. Like I said, kind of know why or what you're looking for. Or even if you go to the crystal store, you look at a certain crystal that's calling to you, find out what it's about. Like find out what the name is, what the purpose of it is, what chakra it governs. That will make it much more powerful. If for those watching that don't have crystals, if you want to start crystals or get a crystal collection, the best thing to do is start with your birthstone. You start with your birthstone, whatever that is, and then you go in, you pick that, and then you kind of build on that way. The color of your birthstone, and then you kind of move into other colors and you learn about them. I have one crystal book, and it's the only crystal book that I've ever needed. It's called the Crystal Bible from Judy Hall. I need no other crystal book than this. It has every single crystal. It has the properties. It has the attributes for them. It has the healing energy. It has the positions you can use it in. It has history of them, how to cleanse them, how to sage them. This is the best crystal book, and there's a lot of them out there. Maybe you have different ones and you'd like to share. That's great too. For me, this is my crystal Bible. So if you're looking for a crystal book, this is the one to go to. My recommendation. Love it, love it, love it. And that's it. That's it about crystals. Not much else we can say about it. I'm going to show you one cleansing technique of your energies that you can use, which I do sometimes with crystals or with rocks, depending what I have or what I'm feeling like I need to do, and where to place them on the bodies. But before I go into that, nobody has any questions or anything?
I have a question about saging. I saged a few times because I was reading the oracle cards and I also wanted to cleanse some part of the basement. Yeah. And I felt like my throat really burnt from it. Do you ever get that experience?
Are you using a lot of sage?
I reduced the amount. The first time, yes.
Yeah. Could be and then sensitive to the smoke too, because you have a bit of sensitivity, right, to a lot of stimulation.
Yes.
Yeah. So it could very well be that the smoke itself is just causing a little bit of because you're inhaling it, right?
Yeah, it definitely is the smoke, but I mean, I reduced it. I tried further away from me. Yeah. But I mean, I wanted to use it more future, but I don't think I can just because of the feeling I got from it. It really didn't feel good. Like it didn't hurt my daughter. She was right next to me when we were doing the oracle cards.
So for you, if it's sensitive and you want to do it, I would, if it's your oracles and stuff like that, maybe take it outside and do it. But if you're saging inside of the house, maybe use a tiny, tiny little bit, or use a glass of water with salt and do the same process that you would do 3 times around the room and then 3 times clockwise. And then that glass of water, you take it and you throw it outside or you flush it down the toilet because it has to be given back to the earth to cleanse it.
Okay. And I can do that for crystals too. To cleanse crystals, do the same motion with water.
Exactly. Water. Yeah, you could do it with water. But with crystals, you could just leave them next to selenite.
Okay. Yeah, I have selenite. I have the bar. Yeah. So good. Thank you. And how much salt would you put in? How much salt would you per cup? Let's say a cup of water.
So a cup, I would put just a teaspoon.
Okay.
If it's a cup literally, I would fill this up with a little bit of water up to here, and I put a teaspoon or 2 of salt.
Okay.
So in my treatment room, I have a jar with water and salt all the time. Every day I refill it, I put in salt, and every time I'm done with the client, I throw it down the toilet or I throw it out the water because it catches all the negative energy. In my house, we have these. If I'm cleansing my children, sometimes I'll use sage, but most of the time I will use salt and water because that was also the way that I was taught. And my mom does that to us. So sometimes I'll just go to her and I'll be like, Mom, I'm not feeling so good. Could you cleanse me? And she'll take a glass of water and she'll just go around me. She's got some mantras, some prayers that she does. And I feel like so much better.
Okay.
Salt and water is probably one of the most powerful.
Perfect. I'll do that then.
The simplest and the cleanest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, Sarah.
What about the rose sticks, the ones that I got from you? Maybe that could be a supplement for the stage.
Yes, you could use those too. You have those, Cindy, the rose dupe sticks.
Yeah, I do have them. I haven't used them yet. They're still there.
Okay, yeah, so try those ones.
Yeah, I'll try them. Okay,
Good
cool.
one, Sarah.
What
Yeah.
about incense? I also have incense. Does incense do any cleansing?
Yeah, they do cleansing because it's the idea of smoke, but then there's properties to certain incense. So some of them are just aromatherapy where, you know, they're not used, like the intention behind them wasn't set for cleansing. Do you know what I mean? Their process are more chemical. Whereas if you're better off using a fresh stick of sage or thyme from the grocery store rather than using a processed incense stick for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
but I do have those rose sticks. Thanks, Sarah, for bringing that up. Yeah.
Yeah, the rose juice sticks are really good because Andrea made those and she hand makes them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good. No problem. Yes,
I think Fondi had a question. Right?
Yeah.
So with the salt, I used to put sea salt in glasses at my entry, but no, there's no water. I just put them on the floor next to my door. Is that effective?
Just salt?
Yeah. Sea salt.
Yeah. And water would be better though.
In water?
Yeah, in water.
Like
a glass of water with the sea salt on the side of your door is fine. Okay. Because water cleanses, but water also has the ability to trap energy. Okay. So if you have the salt there, salt is cleansing and water is trapping. So you cleanse the energy, but it needs to go somewhere because energy doesn't dissipate. It just transfers, right? So you need to catch the energy, hold it in something and put it somewhere else.
I see.
Yeah. So has anyone ever looked at the Emoto study? Oh, you should look this up. I'm going to post it up.
Yes.
Is that the one where the molecule, depending on the emotion, is that it? The molecules of the water?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's this Japanese scientist and it's phenomenal where he has proven how water holds energy and positive water and positive energy and negative energy are capsulated into the water and crystallized. And you'll see the geometric patterns of like the positive ones versus the negative ones. And he's done studies where he will put the water in a glass and I have this where I'm supposed to do it with my children, which I haven't done yet, but even plants, if they're in water and you put them, or just a jar of water where you just say negative energy to it and put negative energy into it, and one where you put positive energy and it'll change the water itself. It'll get dark and murky and then it'll get light and bright. So I'll post it on the link to look it up. It's really phenomenal. Yeah. All that to say though is that the water, it's more important for you to put it in water and put it wherever it is that you need to trap that energy, or physically go move it around in a room because it will catch it and then you'll expel it out. And salt, any type of salt works. Sea salt, I don't use table salt because that's, if you look at the ingredients, table salt is salt and sugar. So I use either kosher salt, sea salt, or just plain regular salt.
Okay. Can I cleanse from the outside, like walk around my property?
Yeah, absolutely. You can cleanse anywhere, anything. Yeah.
So if I want to cleanse my house, do I have to walk counterclockwise around my property?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Counterclockwise to just clear it. And you also have to protect it. So you go clockwise again afterwards.
Okay. So is that how many times do I have to do that? 3 times? 1 time?
3 times is like the minimum, the basic. But it's also a feeling thing. So if you've gone around 3 times, but you still don't feel like I cleansed enough, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. So like when I do cleansing, sometimes when I cleanse someone, I'll do it like 9 times, because 9 is solidity and is the end, is the final. I'll do 9 times. Sometimes I do more, sometimes I do less. When I do my children, it's always 9 times. When my mom does it, always 9 times.
But it has to be multiples of 3. Whatever you do, it has to be
No,
multiples.
no. It doesn't have to be multiples of 3.
Okay.
No, it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be. So sometimes I do 10 or 11, depending on how I'm feeling. Oh, one more time. I think I need to do it one more time. Okay. Okay, I feel better now. Okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank
Mhm.
you. Good
No
stuff.
problem. Yeah. Sarah? Yeah.
This might be off topic, but have any of you guys heard of organite? It's like they take different crystals, they mix it with metals and epoxy to kind of combine the energy of crystals. Does that ring any bells for anyone? Organite?
I've never heard it.
Okay,
Oh.
never mind. Just
Organite?
something that's come up multiple times, and I keep hearing it, and I've looked into it a little bit, and I thought I'd bring it up here and see if anyone has crossed it in their readings or.
I haven't, but I'd be interested. Share the name.
I'll share
Yeah.
a link. It's
Yeah.
I'm sure it's about capturing the energy of the ether, and how to use that, and you can make organite at home if you want, and then plant it in like the 4 corners of your home, and then apparently it does wonders for your garden. It helps counteract a bunch of like waves, like the EMF waves and all of that. You can place some big discs under. It uses copper and other metals to help. Like I'm learning. I really don't know much about it,
Yeah,
but
send the link. I'd be really
share a
interested
link.
to see what
Yeah,
that's
for
about.
sure.
Yeah. 'Cause
Definitely.
there
It
is
might,
power. There's power in everything.
yeah, I think so. And I like the history of it. I like anything that has to do with I'm only learning about the ether and the power that the ether
Yeah.
holds in general. So
Yeah.
anything that has to do with the ether, like apparently even Einstein studied the ether, but that got just like removed from all of his publications. So I'm
Yep.
curious
Yep.
about that.
Einstein studied a lot of this stuff. You should really read some stuff from Bruce Lipton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've started to listen to Bruce Lipton.
Yeah.
My next step is to buy his a book of his, I
Yeah.
guess, or borrow
Yeah.
it from the library. The
Yeah.
other series of books that's caught my attention recently is The Ringing Cedars of the Taiga. The first book is called Anastasia, The Ringing Cedars of the Taiga. This notion that the cedars or pine trees
Yeah.
collect up the energies of the earth, and then when they've collected it all up and they can't give it out again, they start to ring. And when they ring, they need to be cut down, and their wood needs to be shared with humans. And so they become like these crystals that people hold. So it's a book. I'll share that too if you guys are
Share that
interested.
too. Yeah, that would be really interesting. Yeah, share that too. Thank you. I love this stuff. I love finding out new different ideas and things that are going on because there's so much out there.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Sarah. I was just Googling the organite. The pictures are so pretty and they're so colorful because they have like different minerals and crystal embedded. So yeah, it's very nice. Thank you. I'll look it up.
Me too. Post it up on the Google Classroom and I'll look it up for sure. Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, so there's 2 processes that I do really with my crystals. One is I use either crystals or I use a rock, and it's called the Yana Shockwave. It's a shamanic tradition where you take all of the negative energy of something that is sitting with you, you blow it into or you move it into the object, and then you either, if it's a crystal, you don't want to throw your crystal out, so you'll sage it, cleanse it, and invoke not positive energy. Or if it's a rock, you take it and you leave it outside in the earth. So what I do is it's really, really, really simple. I take my crystal. This is my favorite one. So you have your favorites. I also have my, this is my other amethyst, which was my big investment that I was like, I'm doing this for myself, and I got it. It's my best friend. I call him Sky. He sits here all the time. But I never really touch that one. I never really use it. That also is a good cleanser where sometimes I can leave my crystals next to it and it cleanse it because it's big. It's got a lot of energy. But yes, back to the cleansing process. So when something's really bothering me, or I've gotten in a fight or something with my husband or whatever, something's just really frustrating and I'm really angry and I'm sitting with all this negative emotion, I know that it's eating up on me. I know that physically energy needs to move. I can't dissipate it. It's not going to go anywhere. If I let it sit in my body, it's going to fester and it's going to cause some sort of imbalance. I need to move that energy. I need to get it out. So if I can't go see someone for a cleansing, I know I can do it myself. So you take a crystal, whichever crystal it is. I use this one as my favorite, which is my amethyst. And I hold it in my hand. So I hold it in the left because left is receiving, right is always giving outwards energy. So I hold it in my left because it needs to receive what I'm going to give it. So I hold it, I ground myself, I take my deep breaths, and then I start to relive, I start to bring up the energy of whatever it is that I'm sitting with. So for example, if I had a fight with my husband and it's really bothering me, I bring that energy up, I feel those emotions. And if it's a crystal, I know that there are chakras in the center of my hands. So energy comes in and comes out through the palm of our hand. So when we do energy work, we use our hands because this is where the energy is coming in and out of. If you did the work, do the work, and then you get more sensitive, you can feel it. Like I feel it. Sometimes it's like a faucet of like water pouring out. It feels like that. So there's the chakras in the palm of the hands is where the energy is going to move from. So I place my right hand over, I bring that energy up to my heart center, and then I visualize it moving out into the crystal. And I'm asking this crystal to take this negative energy from me, and I am moving it into the crystal, asking it to hold it for me because it no longer serves me. I don't want it anymore. I don't need it, taking my lessons, whatever it is, into this crystal. Then when I'm done and I feel like I've moved all the negative energy into it, open my eyes, I take the crystal and then I cleanse it. So either I leave it next to the selenite or I sage it or I do whatever it is I feel that I need to cleanse it. But after I've done that, I need to invoke it again. So I cleanse it, it's done, slap it away, wash it off, take a moment, allow that energy to move. Everything's a slow, methodical process. Reground myself. Then I take the crystal again, back into my left, with the right hand over it. And I just bring up the memory or the energy of something that brings me love and gratitude. For me, it's always my kids. So I'll bring up their images or a situation or something or whatever it is that shifts me back into a space of love and gratitude. And I breathe with that and I feel that energy and I bring it to my heart center. I bring it back into the crystal and I thank it for taking the negative energy, for cleansing it, and to re-invoke the energy of love, light, wisdom, and vibration. And I breathe with that. And you do that for as long as you feel you need to, that the energy has shifted. And that's it. Sometimes I have a friend who does the same thing. She takes a little piece of paper. She writes an affirmation of whatever it is, I am light or I am whole or whatever affirmation you want. She takes it, she puts it next to the crystal or puts it in a little bag and keeps it together or places it right near her crystal because that's just her kind of closing ceremony. I don't really do that. I just kind of just affirm it in my head and I leave it there, but you can do that if you want. That's a nice cleansing energy to kind of move that negative energy out of you, out into the world. Truthfully, I don't do that one very much. I shared it with you. I don't do it very much because I like the rocks. Because for the rocks, for me, feel a bit more solidified. I don't have any here, but pretend that this is a rock that I picked up. I have a collection at home of just rocks. When I go for walks, I pick them up and I put them inside my little rock box for when I'm frustrated or pissed off and I need to move it. I have a little rock collection. So I pick up little rocks. I got big ones, small ones, little ones. For the days that I'm really pissed off, I got ones big like this and I'll hold it. So it's a rock that I picked up from outside. And I take the rock and I do the same process. I put it into my left, right hand over it. And I now bring up all of the negative energy, the frustration, whatever it is that I have, and then I kind of hold it like a cup like this, and then I'll blow that energy out. So for me, it feels more physical. I am physically doing something. So I inhale all that anger, frustration, whatever, up, and I blow it out into the rock. I forgot to mention that the same process, I ask the rock to take this energy from me. So I blow it into the rock, and I blow it, and I blow it, and I keep blowing until I feel like I've gotten it out. Okay. So now I've invoked this energy with all of my negative, this rock with all of my negative energy. I then go for a walk. I go for a walk outside. And if I don't have time to go for a walk, I just go outside into my backyard or whatever, take the rock, and I place it back onto the earth. And I thank Mother Nature, and I thank Gaia, and I thank the rock for taking this negative energy from me and for cleansing it because it no longer serves me. And I walk away. That rock is gone. That energy is gone. I no longer need it. Then I go back and I go about my day, or I go about my meditation, or I go about taking another crystal and feeling myself and invoking positive energy. That's what I like to do. It's called the Yanashakwe. I like the rocks. You can pick and choose whichever one works for you. Any questions on that? It's a simple little ritual. Yeah, Fondi?
I noticed you have your bracelets only on one arm.
Right.
So I have a lot of bracelets too with crystals. So when you're talking about receiving and giving, if we're trying to get rid of stuff, do we wear certain crystals on the right hand so that we can move it out?
Yeah.
Or yeah, okay.
Yeah. So left is receiving and right is giving. So I wear it on my right hand because I'm doing a lot of work on giving, and so I need to receive to be able to give. So I wear it on my right hand. There are times I wear it on my left where I feel like I need to. So sometimes I'll go to sleep with like my lapis lazuli because I need a little bit more connectedness. I'll put it on my left because you know that I need this for me. I need this for me. This energy, I need it, but I'm using it to serve. And if you're using it to move, you're moving through your right. If you're right-handed, if you're left, then it would be the opposite because it's a dominant hand. So just like when you're holding the crystal or the rock in your left to receive, you're using your right to move your negative energy and taking it out. That's a different.
Okay, so if we're wanting love or needing love or comfort, let's say you have like a pink, what do you call it there? That pink stone, rose quartz.
Yeah.
So if you're wearing that, you would wear it on your left. But if you want to give it to someone and comfort someone or something, you wear it on your right.
If you want to exude that energy, yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes you'll see people wearing it on both. So they are receiving the energy and they're giving the energy. Yeah.
So I have a black tourmaline for protection.
Yeah.
I wear that on my left, but let's say I want to get rid of negative stuff. So would I wear it on my right to pull it out?
Yeah, you could wear it on your right.
Okay. And then I would have to cleanse
it's like giving it out, it's expelling the negative energy. But if you want to protect, you could wear it on either or because you're protecting yourself from negative energy, but you're also not giving out negative energy. Because don't forget, we give out negative energies too without even realizing it. So when you have the evil eye and you have a protection from the evil eye, sometimes we don't realize, but we have the ability to give it to them as well. So like even in our tradition, our children or us or people, like sometimes we're around and I was just having this conversation with my dad actually, and he's like, why is it that we always have to cleanse ourselves after we're with the family, but not with other people? So there's this thing about when we don't realize that we're giving an evil eye, we don't realize that we're giving negative energy because it's not always malicious or intentional, but it exists. So we wear it from our right to not expel negative energy unintentionally, and on the left to not receive it from others that are not intentionally trying to give it.
Interesting. Yeah. So we need to cleanse it, I guess, after something like that, like being around.
You mean your crystals, your bracelets?
Yeah, like you have to take the bracelets and cleanse them after, like, let's say you have a family event and that happens, you have to cleanse it.
Yeah, if you're feeling a little bit off and things feel a little bit weird, yeah.
Yeah.
For the protection ones, you don't necessarily have to clean them immediately after because they're self-cleansing. That's why they hold the negative energy and cleanse it, like onyx or black tourmaline or tiger's eye. They're really good at that. That's why I wear tiger's eye. I don't clean it all the time, but I leave it by selenite. But if you're around an event and you feel like there was a lot of heaviness, then yeah, go ahead, cleanse it, clear it.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Yeah,
you. Good
no
stuff.
problem. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's the gist of it. Let's see if I had anything else. I'll kind of run through my list of what I use per chakra. You guys can have that as a reference. Yeah, so I showed you that one. That's what I do for the cleansing myself, for myself to get the energy out. I love it. I even have my kids do it if they're really upset. Go get a rock. They get a rock and they're like, and then they'll just go throw it outside. It's really cute. It's really fun. So it's really fun to do a lot of this stuff when you have little kids. Because they're not like the husbands. They don't think that we're crazy or we're witches or anything. They think we're super cool. We're super fun. Okay,
That's
so
exactly how my little one sees it. She loves to play with the cards. I won't let her touch the tarot, but she loves the other cards. She's like, mommy, nails and cards, nails and cards.
yeah. Yeah, it's really fun. Okay, so yeah, what I do when there's a particular energy in a certain space, or even for clients, I do a whole ritualistic thing, but for the crystals part itself, which is very earthly, invoking the earth element, when I'm working on a client or you're working on yourself, you always start at the root and work your way up. You always start at the bottom, the sacral, and work your way up. Because we are earthly beings first, and we are spiritual beings having an earthly experience, but ultimately in the end, the priority is this earthly experience that we have to endure in order to elevate our spiritual being. So we start at the root and work our way up, because root also governs the beginning of life. So say you're lying down and you want to do a full chakra cleansing with crystals or a chakra balancing. You're lying down. Your root chakra, you can place, I use 3 because 3 is my number, like Fondy said, but it doesn't have to be in multiples of 3. We use 1, you can use 2 for balance. Me, I like 3, but that's because I have a lot. If you only have 1, that's fine too. So you place the crystals on the root chakra, and then you just work your way up. So red jasper and onyx I use on the root. If I'm working on the sacral, I'm using either citrine or carnelian. These are my 2 when I'm working with sacral, citrine or carnelian. And I place them right, I use 2, so I place them right where your ovaries are. So like that corner of the lower abdominal area, because that just brings the energy of the ovaries, because the ovaries also hold the eggs, which hold the beginning of life and creation and your ability to create. So very powerful centers. I place 2 there. Lying down, I go up to the center of the belly button, just a little bit above that. I'll place either, you can place citrine there too. I don't have a lot. I only have citrine. I have a big citrine like this. So I put citrine on the solar. If there's any other ones that resonate to you, I kind of felt that was a big one. My solar there. On the heart, anything rose quartz, anything malachite. So I'll put one here. I will use either this one, or if I am trying to ground myself, I have 3 crystals of, I don't have another small. Okay, so where's my, oh, here. So again, pointed ones, if I'm grounding myself, I can put it down faceward like this, Or if you want to amplify energy, you can make a triangle if you have 3 of them on the heart center to ground yourself. And you lie and you breathe and you do your meditation or whatever it is that you want if you're trying to ground yourself and feeling a little bit more stable. You can do the opposite if you want to bring your energy upwards and get a little bit more connected with spirit. You lie and breathe with the triangle facing up. So it really depends on the amount of crystals you have and the energy that you want to invoke. So I do that. Kyanite I use for the throat. So my kyanites, I have 2 and I have a whole bunch of little ones. So you can take your kyanite and just place it right on your throat. Or if you have more, I use the 2 big ones on top here on the shoulders because there's also opening on the chakras of the shoulders. I'll place them here. They don't have to be on the body, but like if I'm lying down, they're here. And then I'll take the 3rd one and I'll put it here. And then you do throat chakra balancing. And the solidite I use on the 3rd eye. So if you're lying down, it's right in the middle of your forehead. And then amethyst, I will place. Actually, sometimes if I have a client, what I do is I kind of place it like a crown around their head. I have quite a few of them. But you just take your amethyst and you place it at the top of the head. So you can place these things on yourself as you're lying down to do a nice chakra balancing for yourself. So once you have all the crystals laid out along the body, all you do is you just lie down and you breathe. Very much like Shavasana in yoga, where you're doing your final relaxation pose. You're lying down, but you've got your crystals on your energy center. So it's just bringing energy into that space. And you just breathe. Then you can visualize. You can visualize your root chakra. If you want, you can, like how we did in the first class where you feel energy with your hand, you can practice that. You can rub your hands, bring them over the root chakra where the crystal is, bring them over here and kind of scan your body. And if you scan your body with the crystals, it'll help you feel the energy a little bit more, a little bit stronger. And that'll help you understand a little bit more if you got to the heart and it felt really strong. Oh, you know, there's a lot of energy there. This one felt a little bit like it was being pulled in, so it's a little bit depleted. So this is a good way to kind of start to feel what your energy feels like. Then if you feel a certain thing in an area where you're feeling your throat is a little bit tight, you can kind of just breathe, invoke the energy through that crystal and allow yourself to just bring energy and awareness and attention to that area, which in turn strengthens it.
Sorry, Wendy, you're talking about the ovaries, but for the root chakra, where would you put that crystal?
I put it right on top of the, like right, if you're putting the ovaries, which are like right here,
yeah,
I put it like right here on your pubic bone.
Oh, okay.
Right on top of the pubic bone for the root, and then the ovaries right over here. Then I'd move up here for the solar, and then up for the heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And that's it, my friends. When you're done, same thing. You gently take them off, place them on the side, ground yourself, connect yourself. I mean, just, don't throw them off, get up and run and do what you got to do. But usually after that, it's nice to place them on a side of selenite or cleanse them. And that's it.
Very good.
Perfect.
Thank you
I
so
love
much,
crystals.
Wendy.
I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. So I think that's it for today. That's our crystals. And let me know how it goes. Have fun collecting. Watch the budget because it gets really, really expensive. It's horrible. It's really, really bad.
I'll start with rocks. I'll start with the rocks.
Start with the rocks. Yeah, exactly.
I'll just collect some rocks and they're blowing.
Exactly. Yeah, start a little rock collection. So next week we're going to do pendulums. So pendulums, I have crystals in pendulums. A whole bunch, and then I have a box that I have my pendulums in, and I keep like a selenite in there. But yeah, so if you have a pendulum, bring your pendulum next class. This is my favorite. We're going to program the pendulums, learn how to program them, and then I have some charts that I'm going to post up, if you guys can print them out before class, that would be good because I have them printed out that I use. And then we kind of just like go through how to use them. I print them. They're going to be circular charts like this, and then we learn how to use them. So bring your pendulum, print out the charts that I'm going to post up, and we're going to learn how to use these next class.
So cool. Thank you,
Great.
Wendy.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Wendy.
Thank you so much.
You
Thank all of
guys.
you. Everyone have a good rest of the week.